So, what happens when a centuries-old robot blows up a space bridge to save a dead man's math theory? A telepathic warlord hijacks people's minds like a galactic DJ, and one of the galaxy's ruling clones decides to ditch his dynasty and join a secret psychic rebellion? You get Foundation Season 3, Episode 4. And yeah, it's as wild as it sounds. Welcome back to Your Nerdy Show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. This episode is peak space drama. Betrayal, mind control, ancient tech, political chess, and a growing war that could shatter the balance of power across the stars. Whether you're Team Empire, Foundation, or riding with the Second Foundation's Mentalics, this one had something for everyone. Let's break down the betrayals, the mind control, and the boldest moves yet in this star-blasting episode.
I am not!
Demerzel confesses to the Star Bridge bombing. We finally get the full confession in this episode. During her conversation with Pharrellis, she admits that she orchestrated the bombing by manipulating terrorists from Anacrown and Thespis. And the crazy part? She did it to save Harry Seldon. Her logic was that if the Empire executed Harry, like they were planning to, then psychohistory would never gain traction, and the Foundation would never rise. The bombing caused such massive unrest that the Empire decided to spare Harry's life and send him into exile instead. That one move allowed the entire Seldon plan to unfold. Now, of course, Demerzel justifies it in that cold, mechanical way of hers, sacrificing millions to save billions. But Pharrellis isn't buying that utilitarian excuse. She keeps pushing Demerzel to confront her own role in strengthening the very force that threatens her creators. And here's the thing, the more Pharrellis questions her, the more we see Demerzel glitching, emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically. She starts spiraling because on some level, deep inside her programming, she knows she's gone too far. But also, she literally can't think about abandoning the Empire. She's bound to it. Pharrellis is trying to help her imagine a future without that leash, but it's like asking someone to cut out their own brain. And honestly, that's what makes Demerzel one of the most tragic characters in this entire series. Gaal, Preem, and Pritcher probe the Mule. Meanwhile, out on Ignis, Gaal and Preem finally get a full download on the Mule thanks to Pritcher. After his disastrous trip to Calgon, he shows up on their doorstep and gives them access to his memories. Gaal and Preem literally dig into his mind using mentalic powers to witness what Pritcher saw when he came face to face with the Mule. And yikes. They confirm everything we already suspected. The Mule isn't just strong, he's dangerously gifted. He has this terrifying ability not only to hypnotize huge groups of people, but also to extract information from the mind of another mentalic. That's what he did to Pritcher. Just reached in and scooped out Gaal's name like it was nothing. Now, here's the interesting part. Preem points out that the Mule's greatest weapon isn't just mind control, it's music. He uses it to put entire crowds under his influence. But there's a twist. The Mule doesn't seem to be able to do this to other mentalics. That makes him lonely, isolated, and it also makes him afraid, because instead of seeing other mentalics as allies, he sees them as threats. So his instinct? Eliminate them. That fear, that deep-rooted insecurity, is exactly what Preem wants to exploit. He tells Gaal that they need to make the Mule terrified of the Second Foundation, terrified enough that he self-destructs before they even fight him. Now,
we need Foundation to beat him.
Sure. And then we kill him.
Let's talk about Pritcher for a second, because something's off. He's seen the Mule, he's been violated by the Mule, but instead of being ready to fight, he's suddenly weirdly chill. He starts questioning psychohistory, suggesting maybe the future isn't written in stone, and that Gaal is too focused on one vision she had over 100 years ago. Come on, man, you just got mind-wrecked by a psychic tyrant. This is not the time for philosophical detours. And it gets even weirder. That night, Pritcher basically proposes to Gaal. He wants to forget about the Mule, forget the mission, get married, and live like normal people. Now, I'm all for romance, but this feels like mind manipulation. Like the Mule implanted some sort of emotional virus into Pritcher, just subtle enough to cloud his judgment. Before all this, he was hooking up with someone on Haven after confronting Randu. Now suddenly he's in love with Gaal? Something doesn't add up. And book readers, if you know something about this arc from the original novels, feel free to drop your theories in the comments. But for now, I'm officially putting Pritcher on the watch closely list.
Holy relic.
Quint outsmarts Dusk with the Prime Radiant revelation. Meanwhile, over on New Terminus, Ambassador Quint is having a field day. Ebling shows up and drops two massive bombshells on her. First, Harry, Vault Harry, Digital Harry, is going to emerge publicly during the upcoming eclipse. And second, the Empire has been secretly hoarding a Prime Radiant. That part, that's what really gets Quint's attention. Suddenly, all of Dusk's shady moves start to make sense, but rather than freak out, she plays it like a chess master. She spins the situation around and points out that Torin, Baita, and Magnifico, the fugitives currently wanted by the Empire, actually have deep knowledge about the Mule. And since the Empire is funding the traitors who are causing chaos on Haven and New Terminus, she basically flips the blame right back on Dusk. And when Dusk tries to keep playing the power game, Quint pulls out her trump card, the Prime Radiant. She demands to see it, and because Dusk's secret is now out in the open, he has no choice. Demerzel hesitates, but her programming won't let her disobey a Cleon, so she hands it over. Once they fire it up, Quint is in awe. It predicts the future with astonishing precision, including the destruction of the Empire within 4 months. But in classic bureaucratic fashion, they get so caught up in the science that they forget to even acknowledge the doomsday clock now ticking above their heads.
Necessary.
Day turns against the Empire and kills Maven. Let's swing back to Trantor, where Day is plotting his great escape, but not with Song, because Demerzel already wiped her memories and sent her home for following the outlawed pro-robot religion known as the Inheritance. Still, Day's not giving up. He wants out. He heads to see Cleon 1's hologram for answers, and wow, Cleon's coldness is still bone-chilling. Cleon reveals that the Microgen district supplied essential parts for Demerzel's body, but when they refused to hand them over, because they were sacred, he massacred them. That's the Empire's way, right? Comply or die. What's even chilling is Cleon's logic. The Microgens feed Trantor, so they must be kept alive, but always weak. Just strong enough to serve, but never strong enough to revolt. Day seems disgusted. He doesn't want to continue this legacy of fascism. Instead, he steals one of Demerzel's repair tools, the very same sacred device Cleon stole centuries ago, and brings it as a peace offering to the Microgen people. But the twist: he kills Maven to cover his tracks. Maven helped him get to the district border. In return, he gives him the nanites he promised to save Maven's daughter, but then shoots him in the head and throws the body in the river. Cold, brutal, strategic. By the time Demerzel realizes she's tracking a corpse, Day will be deep inside Mycogen territory. And no, the nanites won't bring Maven back. They're done. Their healing properties are fried. Another innocent casualty in Day's increasingly rogue mission.
We have to move. You have to trust me.
Dawn finally walks away from the Empire. And then we come to the final major shift in this episode, Dawn. He meets with Gaal, this time in person. She's on Trantor now, which immediately raises red flags for him. If she's here, then the threat is real. Dawn still thinks he can fix everything from inside. He believes that once he becomes Day, he'll have the power to stop the Mule. But Gaal shuts that down hard. If the Empire hasn't acted by now, they never will. She tells him flat out, it's time to leave. And to convince him, she gives him a glimpse of her powers. She shows him that the Mule isn't the only mind manipulator in the galaxy. Gaal and the Mentalics of Ignis can do it too, only they're trying to use it to save humanity. Dawn is skeptical at first, but after narrowly avoiding capture and getting a crash course in Mentalic power, he agrees to go. He leaves Trantor, leaves the Cleonic Dynasty, and walks away from the only life he's ever known. Is that the right decision? Honestly, yeah. The Empire is a sinking ship, and the way things are moving, a new Dawn back at Trantor wouldn't even recognize what this one is trying to do. Our nerdy thoughts. So, that's where we leave things in Foundation Season 3, Episode 4. Demerzel's past is exposed, the Prime Radiant is now in Dusk's hands, Gaal is making bold moves, Day is deep behind enemy lines, and Dawn, he's gone rogue, possibly for the greater good. The Mule is still out there, growing stronger by the minute, and the clock is ticking for everyone. Let me know what you think. Is Pritcher compromised? Is Dawn making a mistake by trusting Gaal? And what exactly is Day hoping to accomplish with the Microgen? Drop your theories in the comments, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you for Episode 5.
And when I did, it was to a drowned planet. Your dynasty.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.